Hey guys, it's Ark here, and I've been getting a lot of requests to make an Unholy DK guide. Not really in the comments of my videos like I wanted it to be, but I got a lot of in-game whispers from friends in the guild, friends I have on B-Tag. There's a lot of people whispering me about how to learn how to play DK. And a few things about myself before I get into this. I've been 2376 before. I'll spend it after this. I'm 2100 right now. But basically last season, in the last month of the season, my computer broke down, and I saved up, built a new one, and we were hoping the GPU would work from the old one, and when we put it in the new one, it didn't work. So that was a little bit of a shocker there to me, but so that kind of explains why my videos are a little bit laggy. They normally wouldn't be, but I don't have a graphics card right now, so I'm just running off onboard. But that's enough of that. Let's get to macros. Well, actually, no. Let's do talents first. All right. So for talents, so your main build, this is what you're usually running. You're gonna run Bursting Swords against Cleaves, right? This only changes out when your defensive's really bad. So say you're going against RMD, you might think the Spell Eater is better, but no, you'll get caught without a wall all the time. Corpse Shield lines up so well against their offensives, you wouldn't believe it. So when you're going against that, you want to run All Will Serve, because a Rogue might one-shot your pet, the Fire Mage might AoE it down, because they are very, very squishy. But this is a really good combo here, because you can see here, like basically, pet, right? And they're bursting on you. You can upgrade, and then Corpse Shield. And it's a full Corpse Shield instead of it being the pet at 30% health. And the macro I'll show you guys later automatically puts your pet into a 50% wall. Macro is so good. It's so nice. But we're gonna put the pets back in normal order. So in this it's random attack. So in this tier, you're gonna go Bladed Rune Weapon. Bladed Rune Weapon is your best in arena. You will always go Bladed Rune Weapon. It is never beat by anything. Just Bladed Rune Weapon. I'll explain the RBG build right after I go through arena spec. Clawing Shadows. Clawing Shadows makes up for like mobility. Ranged hit pops a wound, lots of damage. Really good ability. Can be used from range, generates a lot of pressure. Really good ability. Castigator, don't really worry about this ability right now. It just makes your Scourge Strikes pop an additional wound. It's not bad, but right now melee and Holy is not very efficient. Unholy Frenzy, I've seen people use this in 2s and 3s against Cleaves, like double Cleave, like TSG from Walking Dead. It does let you connect for a lot more burst damage. It's really nice and synergizes really well with Necrosis, because you can keep up Sudden Doom, not Sudden Doom, you can keep up the, fuck it's called, Scourge of Worlds at pretty much at all times. So those wounds that you're going to be popping are not going to do more wound damage, but they're going to do a lot more base damage. You're going to do just a lot more damage in general. So Unholy Frenzy and Necrosis are really good against things like The Walking Dead and TSG, and your combo those together. Corpse, oh shit, almost passed one. This tier, Sludge Belcher can be kind of good, usually never going to be good, pretty much always go Asphyxiate. Asphyxiate, 5-second stun, 45-second cooldown, such a good ability. Asphyxiate, really important. This is pretty much garbage. I don't know why we have this, because we can Chains of Ice, and a lot of other classes can too. So don't worry about that. Spell Eater, it can be good against things like God Comp if you go in the Shadow Priest, just to dodge CC from the Mage and the Priest, because he can't fear you, he can't poly you, and you basically sit in the 10-second immune to everything kind of bubble, you know? Well, the world can't do anything to you unless you get like also can hit by Hodge too if they're running God Comp with Pally, but also can get hit by Arju with Cyclone. It's whatever. You get it. You cannot be hit by magical CC or magic damage at that point for like 1.5 million. Corpse Shield, I prefer this ability over everything. This ability gives you so much like flexibility to your defensives. It can make you not take damage. Like, it's a legit bubble on a 1-minute cooldown. It offsets a lot of offensive cooldowns, so basically if you do it right, you can be almost unkillable. But remember, if it's really swappy burst comps like RMD, swap out a bursting source to go All Will Serve, so you can have your pet at full health whenever you need it to be. Next tree, Infected Claws. This synergizes so well with Clawing Shadows, because say we have our pet attack this, and we want to be able to like lock down the healer while trying to keep up damage on this. Our pet might have to wait a minute here, but our pet can put down a wound on him, so we don't have to be there to do it. And we're probably gonna be hitting this guy first too. Like, probably gonna have our own, so we can get on a clawing or two. Then our pet will get us one of these guys one there. We can keep up the damage. And say the healer's here. Like, you can kick him while keeping up our damage on this guy. It's one of the reasons why Clawing Shadow is really good right now. But Infected Claws really just does embrace that thing. Of course, just explained why it was good earlier. Shadowy Infusion, not good. Soul Reaper, better than everything else in this tree. Dark Arbiter doesn't work, doesn't move damage. Defile, too clunky. Soul Reaper, perfect for APOC Soul Reaper damage. And I'll explain that combo in a minute here. Next tree, we have Gladiator's Medallion and all our trinkets. So, Gladiator's Medallion, typically best, because as a DK, you can IBF if you really need to get out of a stun, like really bad. And you can AMS if you're going to get hit with like a pretty bad poly that you need to get rid of. I like Medallion for that reason, so I don't have to waste the AMS. The IBF is different than the AMS. But I can explain that later when I start, recording these videos and able to show you what I'm doing step by step in an arena game. Adaption can be better against like H Paladins and Windwalker Monks, so you can, if they're trying to one-shot you with a leg sweep, you can instantly trinket that. But again, as a DK, we have IBF, if it's really that much of a problem. So typically running Medallion's better. If you're an Orc though, Relentless can be a lot better. It can shorten down CCs you take while basically killing every stun you have, because the Orc ratio is 20%. I'm sorry, 25%, and the Relentless is 20%. So that knocks 40% off of the stun. 45%, sorry. Next tree, Reinforced Armor. If it's 2 melee, go Sparring. If there's not 2 melee, go Reinforced Armor. If you're in 2s, Sparring if it's a melee, Reinforced Armor if it's not. It's pretty simple. Next tree, Cadaverous just isn't good right now. Dark Sim has a very nice skill cap. Say you're going in 2s against our Druid, Unholy DK for example. And the DK is about to die, so the Druid cannot heal your damage, so you try Cycloning so you can heal it off. You can steal the Cyclone, then Trinket it, Cyclone it back, kill his DK. There's just so much use for this. In 3s, it's even better. So, Dark Sim, really good ability. Only issue, high skill cap, and sometimes will not save you from Burst. AM Zone does that though. AM Zone though can save you from Fire Mage Burst. Basically take the Fire Mage Burst, cut it in half by 60%. But for your entire team. So AM Zone is typically better. Next tree, Decomposing Aura, Hard Stop Aura, and Necrotic Aura. Necrotic Aura, if you're playing with another magic damage user, always go Necrotic Aura, keep up a lot of damage. Hard Stop Aura, if you're playing with like a Windwalker Monk or Survival Hunter, go Hard Stop, people can't get away, people can't do their normal rotations, it's all slowed. Hard Stop Aura is better for that. If you're against a Priest though, Decomposing Aura is much better, because it basically grinds them out. They can't really stop you. Crypt Fever, always better, don't worry about anything else. Necrotic Strike, always better, don't worry anything about anything else. Now for your RBG spec, you're going to run Ebon Fever, Epidemic, sorry, not Pandemic. Clawing Shadows is good, Asphyxiate's really good, Corpse Shield's really good. All these abilities are really good. And then you're going to run, no, you still want this, Pandemic. Pandemic, basically, watch this. I'm going to dot this guy here. And when I dot him, see how this is going down to 13 seconds, 12 seconds. Pop that on him, and this will refresh. So it basically just keeps all your things refreshed so that you can spam Epidemic. And Epidemic is kind of a weird ability. The more people so it does damage, it does AoE damage on every target. And if they're stacked up together, they both take the AoE damage of it. So say it does 42k to A and 42k to B. But if they're standing together, it does 84k to both. And it just gets bigger for every person on it. So you can imagine that can be pretty nasty in a team fight. AM Zone, again, it can save your entire team, not just one person. So that's how that ability works. So we're going to go back to the normal build. And I'm going to break down our artifact weapon for you guys and start getting into some of the mechanics. And then we will do some other things. Alright, so here. For your weapon, we're going to do, I went into the wrong thing. For our weapon, you have Scourge of Worlds. Basically, Deathcoil, Clawing Shadows, and Scourge Strike at 30% harder. Explain how that is really useful later. Double Doom, your Sudden Doom can proc twice. It can hold 2 charges, really good. Apocalypse can burst 4 wounds in enemy PvP. Remember, 4 wounds, not 6, 4 wounds. So basically, it pops a bunch of wounds and deals a lot of damage. And it'll summon an army of the dead for each one you popped. So that's part of our burst. I'll explain this in our rotation. Alright, So now we got to do our rotation, which I will do in part 2 because I can't really, oh, shit, no, we have macros still. We'll do macros now, alright? And then we'll do rotation in the part 2. So, macros, I can't type because I've been trying to record this video all damn day. We have Gnaw/Smash. These work for if your pet's in Abomination, or just Ghoul. So, Arena macro 1, 2, 3. I can explain these a little bit later, but basically, on Gladius, it goes 1, 2, 3 down, and it hits those targets. So, say you need to stun the healer and he's 1, and you hit the macro for 1, it'll stun him. So, these are all the modifiers. I mean, not modifiers, these are modifiers. You can't really modify arena macros, but you have 1, 2, 3, and I can show you, I'll put this all in the description. Really, really good. You have your Coil macro. This basically keeps your pet from just running around everywhere, because you can make it attack him if you want to, make it attack him. It's wherever you really need. You just ran through the walls. You can have your pet go on whoever you need to. If you need to refresh a wound, you can have it go to there, instead of just running around all the time. Then we have Summon Dead macro. This allows you to dismiss and resummon your pet like I showed you earlier, so that you can have a full corpse shield. Basically, whenever you need against like bursty comps. See, it's spread hand my pet was like 13% last time, and I just resummoned it from 13%. It's 100% health. Upgrade him, and then pop this macro, which makes him wall himself, which is down here. This basically makes your pet. This pops corpse shield, and then makes your pet huddle or protective bile himself if he's Abomination, which makes him take 50% less damage. So your wall is then increased with his health. He'll take less damage, thereby making you take less damage. Really good macro. We have the open world / RBG macros. This is a modifier macro for your shift target, or it's just a normal grip. If you hit shift when you're doing your grip, it'll grip your focus. I have one of those for the pet. I have one of those for the kick, pet kick, everything. I'll put those down in the description. What else do we got? I think that's it for macros. I think we can get down into the rotation in part 2. I'll see you guys there.